Hello, welcome back to Mountain Gem Card Collectibles. Hope you're having a great week so far. I apologize for not putting out as many episodes, although I am really working at building my business more. And there's something about Sunday, Mondays, and Tuesdays. I don't know. I'm always happier as, I reach Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Those are my favorite days, so you'll likely see or hear more of me basically from Wednesday through Saturdays for this channel. Anyway, today I want to preview really a big release from Leaf. If you know anything about Leaf, they're typically known for, releasing affordable card sets, that are full of autographs, memorabilia, whatever. But this is not it. So anyway, I'm previewing the July 18th, 2025 release of 2025 Leaf Pearl Multi-Sport box sets. And if you're just a collector like myself, I grew up with different prices, 1980s, 1990s, and I like those prices. I liked the culture. Yeah, the internet, wasn't blowing up like it is now. But overall, the affordability that went with sports cards in the 80s and 90s really gave it, the position that it currently has, But anymore, not to, well, maybe I am piggybacking off of, one of Neo's latest rants, because I have to agree, I watched an episode from Neo lately where, he's just, what is going on, with like Panini, putting these big, massive prices on, Caitlin Clark, box sets. I mean, just anything beyond the pale of, most normal collectors for prices. And, putting out not even game-worn jerseys or player-worn, and to an extent, so much of the current card market model just feels like a cash grab, a Ponzi scheme. And if you're one of the people who want to buy into it and go, yes, this is the best quality of stuff, that I can imagine for the price, I'm not going to stop you. I'm not going to change your mind. This is for you, but I'm guessing you have a lot of cash in your bank account. So, these hobby boxes of 2025 Leaf Pearl Multi-Sport, box sets, they're going for close to, anywhere, $3,000, $4,000 range. Now, I'm still, like I've talked about, I'm building my business. I spent like $200 yesterday, or a little bit more than that, about $230. And I am just, I'm just limping around, like somebody beat me up yesterday, like I got in a fight, and it's just like, I'm feeling it. I don't know how I would feel purchasing, one of these high-end boxes that, like this box set that we're going over today. They're not giving you many cards in each box, That's just a very, very few. So the gambling aspect is just out of this world. Anymore, it feels like if you're a sports card enthusiast, fan, collector, you have like someone in the school hallways putting, a piece of paper with some tape on your back, and it says gullible. May as well have a kick me on there, because that's the way it feels from these companies. I've always stuck up for Leaf, as far as pricing goes. I always like it, but now they're churning out products that are just It's like Panini or Topps Fanatics version 2.0. If you know what I mean, it's just like these are big, massive prices on products, and the gambling aspect is just crazy. And it just feels like some of these card companies noticed that, the secondary market's doing pretty good. Someone sold a card for, $10,000. Yeah, but, maybe that person collected cards for 30 years, if you know what I mean. And so a corporation, creating a horse race where right out the gate they're taking all your money, and you're just hoping that the value sticks with the cards. Once again, I just don't agree with this business model. So anyway, let's take a break from my ranting about these prices, and let's dig into this product, because there's just going to be so many high-end products. Is this one worth its weight? All right, so I recommend going to Beckett. I could not find a checklist. All right, so if you're looking for a checklist, hopefully you can find one. I did find an article that we're going to go over that has some of the names that are in this set. And we can look at some of the cards as well. Anyway, 2025 Leaf Pearl Multisport delivers unique combinations of star athletes from across the sports spectrum on multi-signed cards, and also brings collectors close to the game with unique relics. Making their Leaf Pearl debut this year are Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Judge, giving the product even more star power. And I like that. That's great. But the issue I have with the big price is these are not the rookie autos. And down the road, you know that those rookie autos are going to be the ones that hold the most value. Each box has 11 cards, which include a 1-of-1 base card, a cut signature, and at least 2 multi-signed cards. So, 11 cards, $3,000. Let's face it, I could do a lot with $3,000. Trying to build the business, I could really just jump in, but I don't have that type of money. 2025 Leaf Pearl Multisport Checklist Overview. Autographs are the main attraction of Leaf Pearl Multisport, with cards ranging from single signed autographs to 16 player signed booklets to autographed memorabilia. Collectors will find dual autographs, triple autographs, and special forces quad autographs. This is a nice card. Mike Tyson, Conor McGregor, Lennox Lewis, Max Holloway. But honestly, I just see Mike Tyson. These other fighters, I could care less. Anyway, each case will have either a Pearl 6 signatures or Pearl 8 signatures card, which have player signatures on the front and back. So they're really loading you up. Front and back cards. I think that's a great idea to an extent, but when you're piling on these valued autographs, I just don't know if it's going to be the best way to, it'd be hard to display it, if you know what I mean, and you're spinning it around. Anyway, this is loaded up, though. What do we have here? Bob Cousy, Walt Frazier, Julius Erving, Jerry West, Magic Johnson, Patrick Ewing, Charles Barkley, Dennis Rodman. That is definitely loaded up. But it looks like they're all stickers. I can't really tell very good, but I'm guessing those are stickers. Additional autograph sets include Midnight Pearl and Paragon autographed relics and autographed dual relics. Charles Barkley is a first-time signer in this year's product. Hey, chasing Charles Barkley out, that's pretty awesome. That's a pretty cool looking card. Paragon signatures. Memorabilia cards come in many forms. Sets include pearlescent patches, Pearls of History, Letterman, Dominate relics, and Magnum Opus logo patches. Right, here's Lou Gehrig. I guess patches. There's Dominate, more patches. I sell patches, but for my personal collection, I'm just not a big patch fan. Yeah, I like the some nice, patch autos, of course, but overall, I just feel like we need to move on into the postmodern era of sports cards instead of we're still living in the modern era of sports cards, and I'm just kind of burnt out on patches. Anyway, other big chases in the product include cut signatures with names like Babe Ruth, Abraham Lincoln, Princess Diana, John Wayne, and Elvis Presley, and Superbook autographed patches. Yeah, I mean, of course I want these, these big names, Elvis Presley, John Wayne. Although, if they're going to really start wading into this type of stuff, I wish they'd wade more into like the rock music I grew up to, especially like grunge music, I find myself chasing, autos of, like grunge superstars, or just rock superstars of the 1980s. I wish they'd start pushing more of that in. But anyway, so here we see, this Patrick Mahomes. So cards per pack is 11, packs per box is 1, boxes per case, which I don't know how you can even call that a case with just 2 boxes. Come on. Set size to be announced. Release date, as far as I know, still is July 18th, 2025. What to expect on Hobby Box, 1 of 1 base cards, just 1 of those, 1 cut signature, and at least 2 multi-signed cards. All right. So that gives us, a good idea of what to look for in this set. So this is the article that I want to go over that had some more names in it. I just kind of want to talk about some of the issues that I've kind of noticed in this set that kind of stand out, The first issue that really kind of stands out for me is Lionel Messi here, That auto, with all the issues with Lionel Messi autos, I'm to the point, if it's legitimate, that's great. If it's not legitimate, whatever. I don't trust any of them. I just think that Lionel Messi is an individual who doesn't care about his fans at all. He's just someone that wants a paycheck, and he'll cheat it out and do whatever he has to do. So here's that Abraham Lincoln Pearl cuts. That's pretty sweet. I definitely want that. I mean, who wouldn't? But you're gonna have to pay for the chase. And here's some more, picks. The Aaron Judge, Reggie Jackson. That'd be an awesome one. I mean, I have to admit, those are like, 2 of my favorite players. I mean, how many games have I watched of Reggie Jackson growing up? And then we have, some more close picks. But What gets me is, look at this pick right here of the Lionel Messi. That one looks legitimate to me for the most part. But then look at this one, the Midnight Pearl Auto. Now, the reason I want you to look at this one is just look at that auto. All right? So we're going to come back here. But then look at this. This is from The Athletic, this article came out, a little while ago. Topps remaking more Lionel Messi autograph cards following its own investigation. Yeah. And, that auto looks a lot like the auto that we see in the Pearl. I can't say that, but the thing with these Lionel Messi autos, I'm to the point to, even if they are legitimate, it just feels like they're fake. Because they have such a bad reputation, And you just have to dig in and do the research online to see, what are the bad ones, what are the good ones for Lionel Messi. But I'm to the point, leave him out of these sets. He's not a good individual to have signing anymore. But we can see some other, players who've signed. This is Dan Marino, Joe Montana, Jim Kelly. That's a great auto too. But let's face it, Joe Montana signs way, way, way too much. I could even say that for about Dan Marino too. Okay, so here's some names that they listed, that are going to be in here. So I'll just name them. Aaron Judge, Babe Ruth, Barry Sanders, Bo Jackson, Cristiano Ronaldo, Dan Marino, Drew Brees, Ichiro Suzuki, Joe DiMaggio, Kobe Bryant, Lionel Messi, Lou Gehrig, Mickey Mantle, Peyton Manning, Abraham Lincoln, Brett Favre, Charles Barkley, Conor McGregor. I just want to put this out there. Conor McGregor signs too much stuff. Dennis Rodman, Eddie Matthews, Elvis Presley. That would be an awesome one to hit. Giannis Antetokounmpo, Jerry West, Jim Kelly, Joe Jackson, Joe Montana, Julius Erving, Magic Johnson, Mike Tyson, Patrick Ewing, Princess Diana, Reggie Jackson, Steph Curry, Ted Williams, Willie Mays, Bob Cousy, Floyd Mayweather, John Wayne, Max Holloway, Patrick Mahomes, Yao Ming, Walt Frazier, Rafael Nadal, Carlos Alcaraz, Lennox Lewis, and those are a lot of names I managed to pull up. We've hit on some other names, gone over these pictures, so definitely quite a few big stars to chase. But the issue I have is, a lot of these stars, they're not their rookie autos, and they weren't really pushing rookie autos, like for Bo Jackson, but if you could get one, I would definitely rather have a Bo Jackson rookie auto than, these cards. All right. Okay, so if you go to Dave and Adam's Card World, they do have some sell sheets that you can look at, for cards. So I recommend going there. Their price, $3,399.95. Dave and Adam's, so something to consider. I'll back out of here. And you can also buy the 2-box case for $6,749.95. Penny change. All right. So let's look at some of the pictures. There's the box. We've seen these before, this Patrick Mahomes Pearl Signatures, Paragon Signatures with Charles Barkley, Midnight Pearl with Lionel Messi, which you're going to have to do your homework on that. Pearl Signatures 2, Pearl Signatures 3, Special Forces. So they're really loading you up. Pearl Signatures 16. You have your Pearlescent Patch, Pearl of History, and Letterman, which at least are giving you good chunks of patches. You have your Pearl Cuts with your Abraham Lincoln, Superbook, and Pearl Base. The Pearl Base, they're nice cards. I mean, I can't say they're not. It's a nice design. Your Pearl Signatures 6, Paragon Signatures 2, and Dominate. Pearl Signatures 8 front, Pearl Signatures 8 back. So you can also shop for this online, not just at Dave and Adam's. The prices are fairly similar. But let's see what we have here. $3,300, $3,399.95 at the Sports Card Zone. Dave and Adams, of course. They have it stocked up. So it's out there online. It's not exactly everywhere online at this point. But, if you do your homework, you should be able to track it down. So, is this product worth it? That's just it. I'd probably give it the, quarter thumbs up. Yeah, there's a lot of good big names in here to chase. Unfortunately, you're not chasing the rookie autos, which, down the road, you and I both know that the rookie autos are going to hold the most value. But they do load you up. You have a lot of big names. You have some people who are signing this that haven't signed before. But as far as the price goes, that's why I'm giving it, such a low mark. Quarter thumbs up, that's pretty low. Yeah, it took off a little bit, but, still, it just feels like a cash grab. 11 cards, for a ton of money. We're getting used to this business scheme in this day and age, aren't we? Of the corporate cash grab for sports cards or whatever, whatever you want to link up with cards. Whether it's the repacks, whether it's, out the gate, atrocious prices that can only float to the breakers. I keep saying it. We definitely need a sports card corporation overhaul to get it back to where it used to be, where it used to be more about the collectors and the corporation. We live in a country that has bent the knee to corporations. I mean, you can look where I live at. I have to pay taxes for big corporations because, and they're very, very wealthy. They have lots of money, but that seems to be the ideology of the rich get richer by taking advantage of consumers. And once again, it's not a good look. It makes living in the U.S. a headache. And I just wish it would change. Anyway, maybe you have some different opinions on this set. Leave some comments. I'd like to thank my subscribers. I apologize I'm not putting out as much content. But there's a reason for it. I'm doing more, doing my business. And let's face it, there just aren't a lot of releases coming out this summer. And there's always kind of this, drip of news. And there just isn't a lot of news coming out. So anyway, I apologize for that. But I'll be still doing episodes. I like to do them later in the week. Anyway. I'd like to thank my viewers. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. It's the only way I can improve the channel. So I hope you have a great day. I'm out of here. Bye.